So, hello, we are back with another Learn English with Football live show. I forgot for a second what the name of the show is. Um, welcome everyone. As always, we have got Noop here, our regular. I would say quite possibly, the most appearing guest on the show. This is Noop's
Wow.
Instagram.
Thanks for that.
A future doctor, obviously.
Yeah,
So, how are your studies, Noop?
it's pretty intense actually. I haven't been able to sleep these days, so yeah, it's all right actually. My Monday shows with you actually eases everything out.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
indeed.
glad to hear that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope it helps you pass all your exams, Noop.
Oh, definitely.
Fantastic. And also, there is a back-to-back appearance by Clive as well.
Right.
Hi, Clive. How are you doing, man?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, I'm not so happy about yesterday, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing very well. Channel's going well.
Yeah, your
Everything's
channel, Greenstreet Elite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a bit yesterday. You were doing a live, yeah.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Wonderful. So obviously your channel is all about West Ham because you are a massive
predominantly. Yeah, I have been since I was 4 years old. So yeah, we're looking at 50 plus years of being a supporter. Yeah, it's predominantly West Ham. We do talk other stuff as well. On occasion we might even have conversations about food or TV or movies.
Okay.
But it's generally about West Ham and all the stuff involved with it.
Fantastic. And of course, we also have Pan. Welcome back, Pan.
Thanks.
An Englishman living in Finland. And
right.
In the capital, in Helsinki?
In Helsinki, yeah, in the capital, yeah.
Okay, so what's it like there?
No, it's sunny now. We have like a spring feeling. There's still like tons and tons of snow everywhere, but the sun came out recently, which was like a nice surprise. So now everything's starting to melt, so you get like streams of water going down the street. But it's nice. There's springs in the air, and in maybe like 2 months we might feel it. It might.
Well, hopefully there's also spring in the air for Leeds United, which is the team you support.
Yeah, we can breathe a little bit if I want.
And here is your website as well, english4u.fi. So you teach Finnish people. You teach especially Finnish people. You teach them English.
Yeah, I can help them the most. So I work with them. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, guys, where do we start? I guess we should start from the beginning. So let's start with the matches you have seen. Where is the jingle here? Okay. So, Pan.
Quiet week for the Premier League, but started on Friday with Leeds and Wolves. And wasn't one that most Leeds fans were overly optimistic about, but it went really well.
Yeah.
In the end.
We're definitely going to talk about that. So is that the only match you've seen?
Friday, I'm just checking this now. Yesterday I watched Spurs and West Ham. Sorry, Clive. But there weren't many Premier League games.
Not that many.
Quiet week. One of these tricky weeks on the fantasy team. You have to figure out what you do.
Oh, can you? Don't get me started on that. We'll get to that. Noop.
I watched Arsenal versus Aston Villa and Barcelona versus Real Madrid.
Oh yeah.
I was actually about to ask you about that. Now, this show is, I'm gonna use the same word as Clive used before because I like it. Predominantly a show about the Premier League, but I wanted to ask you about that because I know you used to support Barcelona a lot. So okay. And Clive, what about you?
Well, of course, it started the week started for me with the Europa League game for West Ham against Sevilla. And then I watched the what game did I watch on Saturday? Oh yeah, Leeds Wolves. Yeah.
No, that was
Saturday?
on
No,
Friday.
Friday. My apologies.
You probably watched the game of an insignificant team called Arsenal on Saturday.
No, actually, they're that insignificant that I didn't watch it. No, I didn't. No, sorry. That's a bit rude. I didn't watch it because I was working, so I was unable to actually watch it.
Yeah.
But I did listen to most of it on the radio. So, but I didn't watch it. The only games that I've actually watched this week are obviously the West Ham Sevilla game, Leeds and Wolves, which I thought was the best game of the weekend, bar none. Even some of the FA Cup games weren't as good to watch. And I watched obviously Tottenham West Ham, which we'll get to.
Yeah, myself, I saw the Arsenal Aston Villa game, and then am I saying it right? No, it was against Aston Villa, wasn't it?
It was.
It was, yeah. I just couldn't
Villa,
remember for a second. And then I also watched the West Ham game against Spurs, and I had seen the Sevilla game as well. Yeah. This show is predominantly about the Premier League. So just to explain that word again, predominantly, it's an adverb which basically mean mainly, yeah. Mostly, another word. Okay. So then we are gonna ask you about your heroes of the week. So let's do that just to get these sections out of the way. So match week hero. Okay, who wants to start?
I can.
Okay, go for it.
My hero would be Xavi Hernandez, someone not from the Premier League, and it's a rare choice for someone to talk about. And I think he needs to be mentioned. The way he has turned over the Barcelona, the so-called fallen giant, I think it's incredible. And personally for me, I always had a soft spot for Barcelona ever since Pep Guardiola's era. And I have watched the team transition through all those Pep Guardiola and then other managers. And it was quite emotional for me to watch the team win against Real Madrid, who are actually the Champions League contenders, actually. And although it was Real Madrid without Benzema, it's still a pretty strong team when you think of it. And 4-0, wow, that too at Bernabeu, I think it means a lot. And it's something to be talked about,
I'm going to let you off this time, but next time, please choose someone from the Premier League.
Sure.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine. You said you've always had a soft spot for Barcelona, which is a nice idiom. If you have a soft spot for someone, then it means you have a great deal of affection for someone. You like them a lot. Okay. I used to say I have a soft spot for West Ham, but now I say I support two teams. I've evolved from that. Okay. Who is your hero of the week, Clive?
Well, for me, it has to be David Moyes. I know yesterday was a very poor game for us. And some of his selections were pretty questionable for yesterday's game. But leading up to the game and the way he's handled the situation with Andrei Yarmolenko being Ukrainian and the problems that they're having in the Ukraine, the way he's handled that, the way he's handled Yarmolenko, and the way he's used the strengths of that guy to to basically give him another shot, which he's taken with both hands. And, you know, David Moyes takes a lot of credit for that, in my opinion, you know. So, again, he's another West Ham connected person, but David Moyes for me this week.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So you're talking about the West Ham United manager, David Moyes, and you said that some of his selections were pretty questionable. So selections meaning the players he chose to be in the starting 11, right? Selections. And questionable, it means that you could kind of dispute it. You could argue that they might not have been the best choice. Yeah, if something is questionable, it's like you can question it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Nice one. Pan.
I'll go with Luke Ayling, who's the current Leeds captain with Liam Cooper injured. He had a smashing game,
Good
and
choice.
even like more than how he played, he showed leadership. And when your team's 2-0 down, and the first half was a real mess, it looked like we'd be lucky to keep it at 2-0. Just to keep plugging away, bring the guys up with you, because it's easy to be a leader when you're winning. It's easy to be a leader when things are going well, because you just kind of just easy. It's much easier. It's much harder when
it's
you have
easier
to
to
dig
lead
everyone
from
out.
the front.
Yeah. But when you're constantly conceding goals, and also most of the season playing out of position, he's played centre back a lot because of the injuries to centre backs. But he got to play on the right, and he was bombing down the right wing, causing all sorts of problems. Response scored and basically set up the first goal. Did a Robbie Keane celebration. Did the worst cartwheel you've ever seen. Really, that's what more could you ask for?
All right. Yeah. I think a great choice, and understandably, you went for a Leeds player as well. He scored the winner. I think we may talk about that later on. And you also said that Luke Ayling had a smashing game, which is a nice little expression. It's a slang term. Smashing basically means an excellent game. Yeah, fantastic game. All right. And my hero of the week, I'm gonna go for Alex Iwobi. For scoring a late winner, a 99th minute winner for Everton. And I mean, who else needed the points more than anyone? Maybe only Leeds and Everton, let's be honest. Like, what a win for Everton. I didn't see the match, I only saw the goal. But it's enough. 99th minute winner. What's better than that, right?
With 10 men as well. Like they
Yeah.
were down to 10 men at that point, right?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. What a win! What a win! I think it was a home. Was it a home match?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The fans must have gone crazy with that goal. Imagine that. Yeah, massive 3 points for Everton. Okay, so let's continue with the villains of the week. I'm quite curious who you're going to pick. All right. Who wants to start this one?
I think I should go last.
All right, I'll start again. I would go for Tyrone Mings. And it's because I don't think he was defending professionally. And the tackle that he did on Saka right after he made the goal, I think it was very Gerrard-esque tactic, considering what he was doing in Rangers. So yeah, just too physical, and yeah, didn't like it.
Okay. I'm going to write it down. The tackle was... How do you spell Gerrard? It's a bit double R, I think, right?
Double R, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a really, really interesting word that you came up with, Noop, but that's how the English language works. So esque is a nice little suffix that we use to we can use it at the end of somebody's name. Usually it's someone who is famous or who was known for doing something in a particular way. So Gerrard was known for his tackling. That's what Noop is suggesting here. And Tyrone Mings' tackle was Gerrard-esque. So this means that
sarcasm.
it reminded you of the way Gerard used to tackle.
No, actually, it's sarcasm because my intention was because what happened due to that tackle, and I thought of like, okay, Gerard Rangers, what he did versus Slavia, makes sense.
Sorry, I'm a little bit confused. Sorry.
Remember Slavia was when Gerard's team went all physical against Slavia, and they had lots of fouls and
Yeah.
injuries, if you remember. And what I thought was after the first goal, I'm pretty sure Gerard must have said to Tyrone Mings, or it must have been their strategy to injure our players. And I was
Right.
really pissed because the next moment, Saka had to be subbed off, and he was bleeding from his ankle.
Okay.
And
So what you are suggesting is that Gerard, he sometimes tells his players to be very physical, and okay. Now this is interesting. We have two Englishmen here. So guys, would you agree with this, or is this fair? Or what's your view on this?
I didn't see, the incident that you're referring to, or incidents. And to be fair, I've never really considered Gerard to be a great tackler. I mean, he was good, but I thought I would have basically thought he was more famous for the amount of power he could get in a shot. But I could be wrong.
Noops means it as his managerial style. I think that's what.
Sorry, the managerial style.
Yeah.
I was confused by it myself, to be honest, for a second.
Yeah. That's why I mentioned Rangers.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I didn't see it, so I can't really comment on it. To be fair,
Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
No. The thing is, I would say Saka is often kind of a victim of such tackles because of how good he is. Yeah, and also I think his stature. He's a bit smaller, and he's like a slim guy, And I think, and he's so technical, and I think he will attract. Unfortunately, he will attract these moments. I'm afraid. What do you think, Pan?
There's a real blurry kind of grey area, right? Is it part of the game or not? Like being physical, of course, physical is part of the game. Being overly physical, the game's changed. If you watch nowadays compared to, let's say, when Graham Souness used to play, we're talking 30 years ago, different game, and in a good way, right? People aren't getting crunched, and then the referee's going, "Oh well, you got that's an improvement."
You don't have nicknames like Chopper Harris anymore and things like that.
Yeah, bites your legs and whatnot. Yeah,
but Norman bites your legs, Hunter.
Yeah. But there's a point where this is going to get into my villain of the week. People who roll around and really make the most of nothing. Now I'm not talking about Saka here.
Saka is not one of those. No.
He's not.
But Neymar is good at this. Yeah.
Neymar.
Yeah. But grey area. And for sure, it's a tactic that teams play Burnley, very physical team, and they have to play to their strengths, and part of that is being physical. But then the referees have to have a clear line between what is and isn't acceptable, and I think there's some inconsistencies there. But,
no, absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of room for improvement too on the part of the referees. Yeah, on VAR as well. And you said we're gonna get to your villain of the week. So who is the guilty party? Is it someone who dived?
Kind of. It's Raul Jimenez. I mean, he could arguably be my hero of the week because the fact that he got sent off meant that Leeds had a chance to get back into the game. But at the same time, personally for me, he makes a meal out of every challenge. He kind of rolls around, even when he and Meslier collided, when he got a second yellow and got sent off. Arguably, it's 50-50 kind of situation. But at the same time, if one person gets the ball first and the other person then hits the ball winner, it's quite often the case that the person who didn't get the ball ends up being the one who commits the foul and maybe gets a yellow. But he just stayed on the floor. Every time he fell over, he was just rolling around. He's like time wasting from minute one. It was the same thing at Ellen Road as well. Like, and it annoys me. It annoys me.
Yeah, it annoys me too.
It's another part of the game. It's a bit of a grey area where, like, you can be overly physical, you can be overly dramatic, like, and you can kind of get away with it. And if you can get away with it, why not get away with it? But it's not for me.
Yeah, but a lot of players will end up having a reputation for diving, and that doesn't do them any good, does it? Like the referees, they are going to punish them for this, or they are not going to buy it. They're not going to buy it when they start rolling on the floor. And I like this expression that you used as well, when they make a meal out of every challenge. So you were referring to Raul Jimenez. He made a meal out of every challenge, which means that I'm looking at the definition here. It means to spend more time or energy doing something than is necessary. So that's a very, very good idiom, actually. Yeah. And speaking of Raul Jimenez, I have to mention this, but for some reason, I made him a captain of my fantasy team this week. Yeah. And I had it on Son. I had the captaincy on Son. Then I had a party on Friday with Noop. Noop was there. Noop saw me drink 5 beers that night, which is not normal for me. And then the next morning, did I do it? I might have done it even at night when I came back. I was like, let's check my fantasy team for the no. Oh, God. No, I must have done it before. Sorry, it has nothing to do with the beer, but my thinking. Honestly, I don't get it. I took it off Son and gave it to Jimenez. I was like, let's take a punt on Jimenez. Yeah, Wolves at home against Leeds. Leeds are desperate these days. Yeah, and then I checked how many points I got for the Wolverhampton Wanderers Leeds United game, and I got -4. -4. It's my record. I've never got so few points for any
villain of the week. Villain of the week.
In my career as a fantasy league manager, never.
My fantasy league managerial career is probably over as well, because I didn't even check mine until this morning, and I've got 3 Chelsea players and 2 Crystal Palace players on the pitch. How stupid is that? None of them played. Well, they did, but not in the Premiership.
Yeah, I bought. By the way, I bought Raul Jimenez specifically before this game week, because I knew there were so few games. Yeah, so I was like, I need to get some players who are actually going to play.
I didn't even check it.
It came back to bite me in the arse. Unbelievable. Yeah, don't mention Raul Jimenez again, because he was sent off in that game. Because of him getting sent off, the points get doubled. Yeah, so it's -2 for being sent off, I think. And then it's also, I think it was -1 for... Well, -2 for conceding so many goals as well.
No, it'll be because was he your captain?
Yeah.
By any chance? Yeah. So he gets doubled. The -2 gets doubled. So -4.
I know, but then you get +2 for playing. So he must have got -4 for conceding goals as well. But
he'll have only got 1 for playing, because he didn't play 60 minutes. Even he didn't even stay on long enough to get the 2 points.
So it's -3 for getting sent off then. -3.
Maybe it must be
+1. And then it's +2 multiplied by 2 is -4, or something like. I don't honestly -2. I mean, honestly, my math skills are not as good as.
Do you want my villain of the week now? Then
go for it, Clive.
It's going to upset some people, but Heung-min Son. He went down like he was shot in the back. When one of the West Ham players kicked the ball, it was out of play. The ball wasn't in play. He kicked the ball, it touched him on the back of the heel, and he went down like he'd been shot with a 50 cal. I swear to God. Honestly, it looked like he was in a war zone. So he's my villain of the week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't understand that at all, because it says there was a big, like, bit of a scuffle. It was kicking off in the box, and then it showed a footage of a ball hitting a footballer on the foot,
on the back of the foot. and the ball has been rolled over there for a free kick. Do you know what I mean? And it touches him on the back of the foot, and the next thing he needs hospital treatment. You know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
He felt something, and so he went down. He thought someone might have like kicked him, and no, that
on the hill, you know, ridiculous. And you know, like you said earlier, you know, there is a grey area, but I mean that should have got him a card for simulation, but it didn't because he doesn't wear claret and blue. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if our player was warned, "Don't kick balls at people." You know, it just seems that a lot of refereeing decisions go against us. A lot of them, you know. And maybe that's just sour grapes from me, but you know, it just seems that way.
Yeah, sour grapes. It's a nice expression. It's like when you lose a game, so you feel, what's the word for it? Bitter. You feel bitter about it, right? So you, I think it comes from a fable or something. Sour grapes. It comes from a fable.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think it's a fox or something.
You'll have to explain to me what a fable actually is when you got a moment, because to me, fables are just stories. So why not call them stories?
It's like a story with animals, and it's supposed to give you some kind of moral. I think there's a moral.
Oh,
at the
okay.
end. Yeah, it's like an old story. It's often for kids in order to sort of bring them up and to teach them how to behave.
Entertainment and education all in one, right?
Yeah. And I think one of the fables was about, like, I think, I don't know what it was, but it might have been between a fox and a bird, some kind of bird, and then the fox stole the fox stole some grapes from the bird. I'm not saying it correctly, but this is, and then the bird was like, it's okay, you can keep them because they are sour anyway. Yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not.
I think
sure,
it's the other way. I think it's the fox that says it.
Okay. Well,
I think it's the other way. I think the fox couldn't reach them because they were in the tree, and then the bird was eating them. And the fox was like, "I didn't want them anyway. They were sour." But you see a lot of pubs in England called the Fox and Grapes, and that's why.
Right.
You'll notice that.
Yeah.
See, I'm learning while I'm sitting here. This is good.
A nice one. Thanks for clarifying that, Pan. I hope there will be more clarifications like this from you. It's very educational. I hope this is not just a flash in the pan.
Got it.
Very good.
You need a sound effect.
I don't have it.
Quality.
Okay, let's get one.
I like this expression, by the way. It's a gray area. Yeah. So a gray area, it's often used when you talk about law or some rules, regulations, which are not clear. So it's difficult to decide whether something is like breaking the rules or not. So you can say it's a gray area. You might get away with it, but it's kind of immoral at the same time, something like that. Yeah.
I'd say it's like the opposite.
Partners black and white, doesn't it? Because if something is written down, it's in black and white, you know.
Exactly.
So the grey area is where it hasn't been written, but it could be implemented. Or
that's the metaphor as well. Yeah, you can look at it like that. Exactly. Yeah. Very good. So my villain of the week is Mike Dean for deciding to retire at the end of the season. I read it in an article today that he decided to retire at the end of the season. So he's my villain of the week.
Why?
Because I don't know. He wants to be the center of attention. He wants to steal the thunder, and that's not what English teachers should do, right? And that's what not referees should do. I don't know. I just think like sometimes he in his career has made decisions, very questionable decisions, not in favor of Arsenal. Nope. Yeah. Mike Dean. Yeah.
Definitely.
Never really. And but he's fun. You know, he's fun. He's been fun. He's one of those figures that, like, I think the Premier League is going to miss in a way. in a weird way.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that's also the reason he's my villain. He should have stayed at least one more year. Okay. I don't know. Right. So what do we talk about, guys? We're gonna talk about the games of your teams, most importantly. So let's start with Pan's team, which is Leeds. So a fantastic turnaround at the Wolverhampton Wanderers Stadium. What's the name of the stadium? Does anyone know?
Molyneux.
Molyneux.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. You were 2-0 down, after half
2-0
time.
down. Yeah. Like they scored in the just before half time, but like there was the 8 minutes of stoppage time in the first half. Like lots of injuries again, lots of injuries for Leeds, injuries for Wolves. Neves went off. It was looking bad. Bamford went off. Bamford finally came back, and after 20 minutes, he hurt his foot, had to go off, and he was crying on the bench. Like, looked bad. Looked like his season might be over. And we looked bad in the last game in the second half. Without Bamford, we didn't look as good. We barely held on against Norwich. I was like, oh God, what a disaster. Then Jimenez, who was my villain of the week and kind of hero of the week for getting himself sent off, he got Wolves reduced to 10 men, which gave Leeds a bit of hope, I guess.
So what was he sent off for?
It was 2 yellows. First yellow, just clear foul. Second one, he and the Leeds keeper were both running to get the ball. The Leeds keeper got the ball first, and then Jimenez kind of smashed into him. They collided. You could argue that it was just a 50-50.
Okay.
But I think even Jamie Carragher on the commentary said at the time, if the striker got the ball there and then the keeper hit the striker and knocked the striker over, that would
have been
definitely be
given
a
as a
yellow.
penalty.
Yeah, it was out of the box, but it would definitely have been a yellow.
Right.
Like definitely a foul. You couldn't argue. Like it would have just been that way. And they're saying it definitely wasn't a straight red, and it wasn't. It was just a second yellow, and he got himself sent off. And it's not the first time, I think, this season, even like for Jimenez. Like he commits a lot of fouls and he makes a lot of meals out of stuff. So fortunate for Leeds. I'm not gonna lie about it. Fortunate that he got sent off and it gave Leeds a chance to get back into the game. But Wolves, very strong defensive team, 2-0 up at home. A striker went off. It's not the same as a centre back or a goalkeeper or something. Like all you do is just sit back, park the bus. But actually, they really fell to pieces in a way that Leeds normally do. That's normally a Leeds speciality to fall to pieces. But Wolves did it like they didn't defend in the way they normally do. They weren't clearing the ball well. Like gave Leeds a chance to get back into it. And they scored a couple of goals quite quickly within 60, 61 and 65 minutes, something like this. And then got a winner on 90+1 from Luke Ayling, who'd had a great game. And the crowd went mad. You can find some videos. Have a look for Leeds and Wolves at the crowd there. The people were flying everywhere.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's always about the context, isn't it? So you were 2-0 down, and to be honest, I agree with you. Often when a player gets sent off, and especially if you are in the lead, it can be quite comfortable, especially if you are a team of the confidence that Wolves have, and playing against Leeds. Honestly, I would have never put my money on Leeds at that point. So I'm surprised they bottled it so much. And as you said, very nice. You used a very nice phrase. They fell. They really fell. Was it to or into?
Fell to pieces. Yeah,
fell to pieces. Fell to. They really fell to pieces. So to fall to pieces, it means to collapse, right?
In a way that I don't associate with Wolves. They're really solid. Like they can keep a lead. They've won a lot of games 1-0. They haven't scored very many, and they haven't drawn many games because either they go ahead and just preserve their lead, or the other team goes ahead and they don't have the firepower to like win 2-1 or 3-1 or something. So I thought, well, we have a chance, but
even if you think
kind of needed.
Sorry, go on.
Well, we needed Wolves to fall to pieces to be able to have a chance.
I'm surprised. Like even if you think of a wolf as an animal, it's quite a majestic animal that you wouldn't really associate with the quality of giving up or of bottling it. Wolf wouldn't give up. Wolf would just keep going, and it's proud animal, right? So surprise.
Mm.
Okay, Clive, I need to ask you because you said you had seen the game, so I need to ask you about your perspective.
On the Leeds Wolves game.
Yeah.
Well, I agree. I think that in the first half, Leeds were. I think they were feeling a little bit out of their depth. I think, I think they were intimidated by the strength and the ability that Wolves have. But as you rightly said, Pan, when the second yellow came out and Jimenez walked, it seemed like the cloud of despair dispersed above the Leeds team. It was almost like there was a ray of sunshine that came down and enlightened the way. And as you said, Luke Ayling was incredible. He grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and dragged it to a win. He was vocal every moment of the game. When he wasn't on the ball, he was directing players to go here, there, and he was absolutely a quality captain on the day, absolutely quality. And as I said, he grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and dragged it back to him. So Luke Ayling for me was definitely the man of the match for that game, definitely, without doubt. But I felt that once Leeds had got the impetus, then it was almost like, how many can they score? Because it was almost, there was a chance coming up so regularly for them. They were working their way in a position. And the only thing really missing from me was that little bit of grit and determination in the first half from Leeds. That was the only thing that was missing from the game. Other than that, it had everything you want in a football game. Sending off and, a fight back. And a great result for Leeds. Fantastic result for Leeds. I've got a couple of friends that have a channel. They're Leeds supporters. They call themselves the Disabled Team, and they're really quite popular and amongst the Leeds faithful. And I was chatting to Stuart, one of the guys, and I was saying to him how good the performance was in the second half. And even though they'd won the game and the performance levels were great in the second half, all he could talk about was how disappointed the first half was. And I suppose that's typical of a football fan, really. You'd rather focus on the negative than on the positive. It's just the pessimist in us, and we've all got a pessimist in us.
Yeah,
same thing. Talking with my friends. Yeah, talking with my friends after the game. We've won 2 games now in a row. I think it's the first time all season. Actually got a bit of daylight between Leeds and the bottom 3. And my mate said, if we play like that in the rest of the games, though, we'll still get relegated. Like, focus on the good stuff. Like an incredible comeback. And he goes, yeah, but if we do that again, we won't always be able to come back and win. Like, let me enjoy it.
I think that's probably why I get on so well with the Leeds supporters that tune into us, and that's reciprocated, I believe, with them, because there must be half a dozen Leeds fans that regularly tune into my stuff, and other West Ham channels as well. So I think we have that in common, that internal pessimist.
All right. Well, I just want to say, Clive, you're on fire. I can't keep up. You're throwing in all these expressions, idioms. One of them is Leeds in the first half were feeling a bit out of depth. So if you are a bit out of depth, you are in a difficult situation. It's a bit too much for you to be able to cope with it. And then you said the cloud of this. I'm not going to write it down. It's too much for me.
Yeah.
A cloud of despair dispersed. What a fantastic metaphor. I like that. And then you said Leeds took the game by the scruff of the neck. That's another one I liked a lot. So thanks for all these wonderful idioms, Clive. And
that's my daily talk. That's how I talk every day.
Fantastic. Noop, is there anything to add? I didn't see the game personally. I was just upset that Jimenez got -4 points. That's all. And I was happy for Pan as well.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, I didn't see the details. I just saw the highlights, and I was really happy for Leeds. I think it was a very emotional game for Leeds as well. Such comeback, and what Leeds have been going through.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
let's be
it was very
honest.
nice.
Let's be honest. We should be happy for our teams too, because
Yeah.
Wolverhampton Wanderers were in the mix for a long time
Yeah, they
for
were.
the European football, but now
Yeah.
it seems like they're falling off a bit, right?
Mhm.
So West Ham and well, let's be honest, Arsenal are in a better position than West Ham now, but West Ham still have a
Currently,
chance.
yes.
But West Ham still have a good chance for European football. So,
Of course we do, yeah.
and Wolves are one of the teams that are around. So,
Mhm.
nice win
Yeah.
for Leeds.
And going back to Thursday's game against Sevilla, if West Ham play like that in the rest of the games that we have in front of us in that competition, we may qualify for Champions League at the end of this season. Without,
Yeah.
I mean, we could finish 20th in the league and still qualify for the Champions League. So I
That
think
is
we've
true,
got.
Clive.
I think we've got our eye firmly on Europe this year, though.
Nope.
I said I wouldn't go for such thing because Arsenal were doing the same thing for past 2 seasons when we were playing in Europa League, and no, things didn't go well.
The thing is, Clive, in my opinion, we have talked about this before. Your team is just 11, 12, 13, maybe 14 players playing, and there's not enough rotation. The players look tired. They just can't. We could see it in that Spurs game.
Hence yesterday's game and result. I mean, if I was, I haven't actually done one, but if I was to do a player rating for West Ham for yesterday's game, the highest scorer would be Saeed Benrahma, and he would only get a 6 because none of them were good yesterday. The only player that really, that really did show anything was Saeed Benrahma.
He scored a nice goal as well. Yeah,
he did. And I've been very critical of him recently, and I feel that it's been justified. He's putting in 70% effort when we demand 110%. It's just I feel that Saeed Benrahma has opened himself up for the criticism that he's had, not just from me but from other people. But this week he didn't. He actually. Really, he was the only player that gave us anything this week. I mean, even Declan Rice was poor this week, and I never say that.
Yeah, Clive, I have to be honest with you, and I said it on your channel when I joined for like 5 minutes. I actually saw that coming. I saw that coming because you played too early after that Sevilla game, and in my opinion, if you win in such an incredible manner, the way you played against Sevilla, and what a massive win that was.
Yes,
they were the favorites for winning the cup.
Well, they've won it 6 times, haven't they? And they've been finalists 9 times. So
and then it's just, I think it was inevitable because you played too early after that game. There was a bit of hangover.
And not also, just in fatigue and stuff.
We have to remind our viewers that the game against Sevilla on Thursday, it went into extra time as well. Yeah,
so 120 minutes of football.
Exactly.
And Mikel Antonio trod every single minute of that. He was on the pitch for every single minute of that, and so were many of the other players, of course. There was only a small amount of rotation. From Thursday to Sunday, I think it was 3 players different.
Yeah, and I knew David Moyes would do that because he doesn't have players to choose from, really.
No, he doesn't, and he's not prepared to use the under-23s either.
Exactly, I think he sort of what's the expression? He put it on him, not put it on himself. Help me out, guys.
He brought it upon himself.
He brought it upon himself, right? Because if you just play a few players, then you're rendering the rest unable to be used because they are not match fit. They don't have the confidence, So it's just he brought it upon himself. And in my opinion, the writing was on the wall, which is an idiom that I'm going to use here. The writing was on the wall. It means like it was to happen. It was meant to happen, right? It was sort of written in the stars. Yeah. Here
or
we go.
almost predicted.
Yeah, that's probably the better way to explain it. Yeah, you could have predicted it. Yeah. Nrup,
Yeah.
is this the result you were hoping for? Because as an Arsenal fan, again, like it's West Ham and Tottenham and Manchester United we have to be worried about. Wolves are falling down a bit. So is this the result you wanted, the West Ham Spurs result, or not really?
Honestly, I would have gone for a draw, so that both the teams lose 2 points. But yeah, for me, that's how it works. Like any team that is near to me, I want both of the teams to draw. Just draw the game, so that it's good for me.
Yeah, makes sense.
And also, it's good for them as well because they earn 1 point.
Yeah.
Good deal.
You know what? Like when Spurs were like 1-2, when it was 2-1 for Spurs, at the back of my mind, I was still going, they're gonna Spurs it up. They are Spurs. Yeah, there's this phrasal verb, to Spurs it up, which is part of the dictionary now as well, as far as I know. To Spurs it up. Yeah. So they didn't because West Ham were so leggy, so tired that they couldn't do it, Pan, could they?
I mean, even Manuel Lanzini couldn't pull out a worldie like he normally does.
Yeah. Well, he was subbed off early as well.
Mm.
So Pan, what did you make of the game? Because you said as well that you had seen it.
Yeah. Spurs, I used to like Spurs are Spursy, right? Adjective, be Spursy. Like they Spurs things up. And it was 2-0 like in the first half, was it? Is it 2-1? It was 2-1 at half time, right? Yeah, you still like West Ham got one back before half time and you thought, there could be something in this. But I don't know, they just didn't seem to have it in them. Like it was a bit beyond them. And then Spurs are dangerous in that way where they invite the other team to pressure them. And then you just need Harry Kane to drop off, ping a ball through. Or it was just like the third one was like a header, right? Just a classic old school long ball forward. Harry Kane flicked on the header. Son ran through, and that's always a danger.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, I'm not the biggest Harry Kane fan, but I have to say he has found his lost form. He has been brilliant in the last few matches. Like, he's just back to his old self because the way he, especially his passing range, it's amazing. Like how he is able to find his teammates, and they have such a good understanding with Son and even with Kulusevski. I fear Kulusevski because because the Czech Republic are playing Sweden on Thursday, and Czech Republic we don't have their best player Patrik Schick. He's injured. The whole defense is it's like we're gonna have a makeshift defense. Like none of the defenders, including Vladimir Coufal, all of them are out. So we're gonna have 4 new defenders. It's gonna be hard against Sweden. So Kulusevski was great as well, and Harry Kane amazing. I asked you, Pan, what did you make of the game? Yeah. So I just like this way of asking this question. So to make of something, it's like what's your opinion of the game, right? What did you make of it? What did you think about it? Yeah. Okay. Anything to add, Clive?
No, not about that game. No, not that I'm allowed to say on here anyway.
Yeah, this is unfortunate, because Spurs are now in the mix as well. Yeah, I think Arsenal have it under control though, Nrup, don't they? Arsenal are in a very comfortable position now.
I wouldn't still say comfortable, but yeah, we have things under control. That's for sure.
For once,
because we face,
You have 2 games in hand, right? You have 12, like a game or two.
One game.
One game.
You played 27.
No, we're 28.
Arsenal played 27. Oh.
28. The only teams that have played 27 are Leicester and Everton.
And Burnley, no?
Yeah, Burnley.
Probably, yeah. Burnley as well. Yeah. They have missed a lot of games.
But
as well.
that must leave another team then, because you can't have 3 teams
Yeah.
that have only played 27.
I think we have 2 games
That's
in
an
hand
even
because
number.
Yeah, it's
this
Arsenal
was-
played
Yeah.
27. Yeah.
You have 2 games in hand over us, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
we
this,
have, Man
you know
United
what?
and-
Play
This is
28.
week.
I just
This
checked.
was week 30. This was week 30. So that means that some teams have played 30 games. So we played our games in hand, Noop, are against Leicester and
Chelsea.
and Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea. You see,
6 points.
not sure about that, but
I
Leicester
would go for
are
four.
also.
At
Leicester-
least you won't have that. At least you won't have that many Chelsea fans there.
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
sell tickets, can they?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't take another pound over the counter. So unfortunate
it's
for them. As
We
it
have
is,
talked.
but,
We have talked about this before. It's a bit it's a bit tough on Chelsea fans
Yeah.
now. To be honest.
it's actually really bittersweet for the Premiership, though.
Yeah.
You know, because okay, so the fact that they can't spend money, buy players, etc., means they can't strengthen. Other teams can, so that means that there's going to be more of a challenge on them from other teams. But on the other hand, you know, they've got such a long and colourful history that, you know, I think anything that tarnishes the entire Premiership. And I don't just mean Chelsea. I'm talking about any other clubs that have been, you know, in the Football League system as long as they have. 1903 registered Chelsea, I believe. So, you know, that's an entire, century of history, you know, and anything that tarnishes that club tarnishes that history, you know. It's a shame.
It's a mess. It's a mess. It only goes to show that football is about money. And in my opinion, nothing else could be done, really. Like, I believe this was the only thing this could have turned out, in my opinion. Yeah, because of the Ukrainian situation. But I also feel for the Chelsea fans, because how must they be feeling now, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean, most of them are saying, you know, it's not our fault that our owner is mates with that fella that wants to go and do all them things. You know, it's not their fault, as in, you know, the supporter and the people that work at the club.
And then this also opens a can of worms as well, because now you're gonna question the other owners as well, like some Saudi owners, you know, and they're also what's the word Happy Hammerhead taught us last week? Game washing. What was it? Game washing?
Oh,
no.
Yeah, game washing.
Game washing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this. Through money, through being the owner of the club, they are kind of supporting the regime, you know, and the regime that doesn't really respect human rights. Yeah, so it's really it's difficult. This part.
It's far too political for me, that's for sure.
Yeah, but that's what it is now, you know. We can't. Yeah. I don't know. Noop.
Yeah.
The Arsenal game. Let's talk about the Arsenal game. Another 3 points.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Actually, I didn't expect us to score just 1 goal. I expected it to be, you know, nice, equal game with lots of goals to be scored, considering it's Gerrard's Aston Villa. But yeah, it was nice. Actually, I think we were really comfortable with the game throughout. Although I think towards the end of first half, Aston Villa did have their moments, but I don't think they were able to put that much of dent on Arsenal, apart from the Saka challenge.
Yeah, the Gerrard-esque challenge. Yeah.
Not only that, before the game, I was actually scared because Martinelli was sick and Ramsdale, he had the hip injury that he got versus Tottenham. So I was really scared, like, okay, injury and Arsenal, you know how it works. So it's our Achilles heel, basically.
Yeah.
I like how as a doctor you're using all these idioms. Achilles heel, yeah, that's like a medical idiom. So first of all, can you explain to us what a hip injury is all about, Nrup, and how serious it is?
Well, it depends. Like I think in case of football, it can be either some sort of contusion, which is like it's like basically ruptures of tissues or ligaments. Simple words. And yeah, the thing is, those injuries they can go up to weeks, maybe even a month. That's how it's supposed to be.
Hmm.
And I think Arteta said it can go up to weeks. So I'm really scared, considering the levels of Leno and Ramsdale.
Okay,
And
but
yeah,
he kept a clean sheet in this game, so
he did. He did. I'm really happy for the Leno, especially the last moment. You know that when there was a free kick, I think it was close. It was really close. It could have been 1-1. It could have been the late equalizer, which I wouldn't enjoy, considering how we controlled most of the game. And also, it was really stupid of Xhaka to get a yellow card again.
He can't help
I
himself.
think.
But you know what? It
What?
was stupid. But at the same
It was,
time, I think had it been anyone else, he wouldn't have got that yellow card because it was just a little push.
I know. Like,
He just
come on.
like touched his
Yeah.
neck. He didn't like there was no force or anything. He just touched his neck. Like it was
I know.
more like showing his like dominance. Yeah, it was like what a player would do. I'm more dominant than you. Like asserting dominance. That's what Xhaka does. It was stupid, but he got that yellow because he's Xhaka. In my opinion.
I agree as well. I think things could have gone much more lighter if it was someone else. So yeah, I think it's just I don't know. Sometimes I feel like there's some agenda towards our midfielders so that our team just loses the balance because now we have Shaka and Thomas who are both booked for yellow card, and if they get a yellow card again, they'll miss the next game.
And they
which
have
is, I
also
think,
got some red
against-
cards under their belt already. Yeah.
as well. Exactly, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
Okay.
also shout out to Cedric. I think he was really amazing, the way how he has been carrying the job ever since we lost Tomiyasu to calf injury and other recurring injuries. I think he's amazing.
Yeah. So Clive, Pan, whichever one of you wants to answer first. So, what do you think is different for this season that Arsenal are they are managing to hold on to? They're managing to scrape results like this because 1-0 it's not the first time this season, right, Noop?
Yeah.
Quite consistently, Arsenal have been winning by 1 goal, and sometimes it's not pretty. And so what's different in your opinion, guys?
Go on, Pan. I'll let you answer.
Well, think about who you bought. Who did you spend money on last summer? You spent 50 million on Ben White. Oh, was that 50? And Ramsdale was 30 or something?
30, 35.
Yeah. Like
Tomiyasu.
It's a decent chunk of money, like to strengthen defense, basically. Right. And you have then the other side, Gabriel, other centre back, kind of a bigger guy.
Yeah.
Like a stronger, and Ben White, like he played a season at Leeds in the promotion season on loan from Brighton, and Leeds wanted to buy him. Then they offered 35 million to Brighton, and Brighton just weren't interested. They asked Leeds to stop bidding because they didn't want to sell him. They saw like he had like real talent, and I think really like smart purchase, to be honest. Like expensive, right? When you hear 50 million, you start to think like this. You need results quickly from this guy, but. If you can turn like 0-0s or 1-1s into 1-0, i.e., like not concede even without Ramsdale, like these and string a few of those together, these purchases that they pay for themselves.
Yeah, that's right.
Although like a beginning of the season though, like quite a turnaround, like from the start of the season.
Yeah.
To like now, I'm not really sure what clicked or what really changed. Do you know? Like,
I think it's Arteta.
Arteta, yeah, like the fans. I think he won the fans over, and that was an important moment because it's difficult if you are constantly under pressure and if the fans are because imagine managing the Arsenal team or playing for Arsenal and having those fans who are like the fans that have very high expectations because of the history of the club and for how many seasons have been underperforming. There's a lot of like negativity, a lot of toxicity among fans, and that's what Arsenal have been going through in the recent years. And even Tottenham, we couldn't even celebrate the St. Tottenham's. What's the word for it? St. Tottenham's. There is a day that we celebrate each season when we know we finish above Tottenham.
Wow.
St. Tottenham's Day or something.
I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah. And
No, me
and,
either.
Come on.
and it was like, I don't know, like 12 seasons in a row. We always celebrated it, and then suddenly Spurs started getting above us. So there was nothing for the Gunners to hold on to anymore. Yeah. So imagine working under those conditions. Yeah, a lot of pressure from the fans, and then it's not easy. And Arteta is a young, inexperienced manager. Yeah, he got some experience on the Pep Guardiola's wing, but this is his first job, right? Nope. This is his first job. So it's amazing what he has achieved and how he has won the fans over.
You've also got to remember, though, that when you did the Invincible year, when Arsenal did the Invincible year, they won a lot of their games 1-0 or 2-1 by narrow margins, a lot of draws, you know. So Arsenal are very experienced at dragging out a result or scratching out a result. Excuse me 1 second. They're very experienced at, okay, completely different set of players now, but it's the mentality of the club that's still there. The same mentality is still in that club that it was in, 10 years ago. It's like West Ham. We've still got the same mentality within the club. We're just achieving more than we ever used to. So that mentality is becoming more of a positive mentality. And I think that's what's happened with Arsenal. They had a couple of decent results. I think it started out with them getting a really decent draw that nobody expected. And then they, thrashed out a couple of wins. And that, you know that success breeds, what's the word I'm looking for? Positivity.
Positivity.
Yeah. And, by being successful, you're more positive about your next task, as it were.
Clive, there were so many fans calling for Arteta's head. You have no idea, like so many.
Oh, they weren't all Arsenal fans.
And sorry, no.
They weren't all Arsenal fans,
including you, man.
I wasn't that vocal. Yeah, I was saying I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I wasn't one of the vocal ones, but I saw some channels, and the fans were going crazy. I was ready.
You were not the radical one.
You managed to convince me as well. I was warming up to Arteta. I was like, okay, he hasn't been in the job for a long time. I admit Nurup was the more optimistic one of the two of us. Yes, but still, I would say I wasn't too pro Arteta out, but I was prepared to make it happen. If by the way, maybe this doesn't show the whole comment. Yeah, the Saint Tottenham, I can't pronounce this. Tottenham's Day, can't pronounce it, is a concept created in 2002 and first published on the fan website arsweb.com. It is the day when Arsenal have gathered sufficient points to be mathematically assured to finish ahead of Tottenham in the league table. Sorry, this comment is so big that it's hiding Clive completely.
That's all right. Look, there you go. It's not a problem. It's not a problem.
Okay. So, guys, we are getting to the end of the show. Is there anything you think we should mention before we wrap this up regarding this week?
We haven't had a go at Maguire yet, but he didn't play. Do we give him a week off?
Do you know when you mentioned Ben White? And he was in my head, but I was like, I'm not doing it. When you were talking about Ben White and how expensive he was, I was like, If Leontes was here, he would say something. How much did Maguire cost? I don't know, but it was more than Ben White. I'll tell you that.
60 something, wasn't it?
I'm like 75, 80, I think.
Yeah.
Would it?
Much more, yeah. I think he's the world's most expensive
Look-
defender still.
Yeah, a lot of money for a square head.
Okay, yeah, that's. You know what? I'm thinking. I'm starting to think that this show we have an agenda against Maguire, and we bully him.
Yeah,
a
I
bit
don't
too-
want that. I don't
We
want
bully
that.
him a
That's
bit
right.
too much. You know?
Yeah, he
It's not
deserves it.
banter,
Go-
but yeah. Okay.
It's only because he plays for Man United that I don't like him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I won't
Yeah.
like Declan Rice if he goes there.
Hmm. Hopefully not.
I'll always like Declan Rice. He's a good lad. I don't care where he goes. Oh, I do. Obviously, you know, I don't want him to leave West Ham, but it really wouldn't affect me even if he went to Tottenham. Well, I think that might actually. It probably would, if I'm honest. But you know, I think if he can go somewhere where he can further his career and fulfill his dreams, then fair play to him, wherever that may be.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what? I might have one more question. There were some incidents. There was one incident, I think it was in the Everton game, where a football fan with a shirt saying stop mining oil or something like that, stop oil. He decided to invade the pitch and strapped himself to a post. He used a zip tie to strap himself to a post. Have
It
you
was a
seen
metallic zip tie,
Oh
apparently.
yeah, I remember that.
metallic zip tie?
Yeah, apparently so.
Because mostly the zip ties are plastic, right?
Plastic,
So,
yeah.
wow.
Oh yeah, they came out with a set of bolt croppers that you could have taken an aeroplane apart with.
Wow.
You were massive.
It actually took several minutes to get him out of
Took
there.
several people to use them, I think. They were so big.
It was a big moment, and also interestingly enough, the camera they decided to show it. So normally when there's a player invading the pitch, they are naked or something. They don't show it. But in this case, they did show it, and everybody was wondering why. Maybe he wasn't on the pitch because he was like strapped to the post. I don't know what
He
the
was
thinking
still
was there.
stopping play, wasn't he? Let's be fair. You know,
But
But the
I
same
want
thing
him
happened in the Leeds game. Someone tried it, but the stewards are
Tried.
like on high alert now. Yeah, and same
Because
in the Spurs
they
game,
already
maybe?
had experience of that happening, so they
Yeah.
the stewards
Yeah.
prevented another disaster there. But Noop, a metallic zip tie around your neck.
Wow.
You strap yourself to a post. Apparently, he had some scar. He had some like a red scar there after that. So I want to ask you, as a future doctor,
would
was
you
that-
advise that kind of behaviour?
was he at risk of, I don't know, suffocating, or what could have happened in the worst case scenario?
The worst case. Honestly, I don't think anything could have happened to him unless, I don't know, he just slips over and he falls on his head. So he could have just choked and died, I guess. But
And the
then,
bolt, and then as Clive says, they brought a set of bolt cutters. Honestly, when they brought it looked like it was like torturing tools or something. And could anything happen to him because was he compliant or not when they were cutting off the zip tie?
Yeah, he wasn't
Clive.
fighting
I
them.
don't think he had a lot of choice. He'd already made his point. I think he
yeah, I think it
resigned
was all
himself
right.
to the fact
There's
he was
nothing
going to
that
spend the
much.
evening in a police station. He was going to be questioned, and then he was going to be sent home on bail and told, "You're a very naughty boy. Don't do that again."
Well, yeah, so the bolt cutters worked in the end. Well, if they hadn't worked, the alternative would have been to saw off the post, right?
Or his head.
Imagine that.
Either that or a samurai sword might have helped, if you get my meaning.
Oh, right.
People that do that at football games, I don't understand it. I mean, there's either got to be an illness involved, or they've just got to be so crazy for attention that they're going to do something like this, you know.
Do you know what?
And either way, they need medical help. Either
Do
way.
you know what?
Indeed.
Do you know what, Clive? The question is, are they really football fans? Because if you are a true football fan, and you do something like that, and he didn't look like drunk or anything. Sometimes when you're drunk, you do crazy things, right? But he didn't look drunk. He knew exactly what he was doing. This was planned. You know, you never ever in England, right? You're never ever gonna get on that pitch again, in the stadium again, right? You're gonna be banned. Yeah. You're gonna be banned from entering the stadium. So why?
You know,
why would
in this
you do that
country,
as a football fan?
in this country, you're on camera every 17 seconds. I reckon in the UK. So he's got no chance of getting in unnoticed, does he? Anywhere.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, Clive, Pan, and Roop were on camera for more than 1 hour. Thank you very much, guys, for appearing today. Fantastic job as always, and great insight about your teams. Don't forget, guys, that you can like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. And all that remains to say is
spread the word.
Spread the word. And all that remains to say is goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Have a good one. Take care.
Take care.